Hi there. So today we're going to talk about how to clean out the valves at the back of the glove box. That's really important to make sure there's no debris being caught up in there, and that might restrict the movement of the valves, which could cause the atmosphere to be compromised. So we're going to clean the valves out. The first thing you need to do is come around and look at the gas flows. So those valves let the gases in and out of the glove box. So if we have the glove box open to these gases, then as soon as you pull out the valves, you'll get gas spilling out everywhere. So the first thing you want to do is close these, and close both of them, the regeneration and the operating gas. We close both of those now. And then also you want to come to the panel and turn off the circulation purifier, because that will again stop the glove box from trying to move gases around inside itself. Okay, great, let's go around the back. Okay, so now we're going to actually start cleaning the valves. Before you start that, we've already turned the flows off over there, but now we want to turn off the vacuum as well. That's also a kind of flow that's occurring. Okay, so here we have our 6 valves. All 6 of them need to be cleaned. We're just going to show you one as an example. So if we take VS, because it's the easiest one, and I'll make it a bit of a better video. So there are 4 screws, and we're just going to unscrew them. So most of them will hopefully not currently be in operation, so they'll be cold. However, if your valve is open and the electromagnetism is being activated to keep the valve open, then they will be warm, and we'll talk about how to deal with that in a second. You'll see here that as I'm taking the screws out, I am putting them neatly in a different location. That is important. If you lose something behind here, it's going to be really annoying to find again. So let's try not to do that. So as I mentioned earlier, these need doing about once a year. If you have a problem with one of the regeneration cycles, or you come in one day and the glove box is not happy, maybe one of the valves are seized shut, then you'll have to come around and fix that particular valve. Or you can see it's starting to come loose. Let me take out that last one and hold on to it whilst I'm doing it. Great, okay. And now on the other side of this is the solenoid valve part. So I'm gonna try not to tip it upside down so we don't lose the parts. And if I put my hand on the end here, I will have, just leave that there for a second. I have a spring, I have an O-ring, and I have the actual valve rod. So we're going to clean these. I got some chem wipes here. Dusty. Got some chem wipes here, and we're cleaning them so that any particulates that have collected over time will be taken off, because we do not want them to clog up the valve. I'm just using methanol here. This one's actually very clean, so it doesn't need too much cleaning. Once you give them a nice little rub down, again, once you've done with them, put them in a sensible place. The spring will be fine, the O-ring will be fine. And we also want to clean the inside of the actual box. So I will take a methanol soaked chem wipe, and I hope you can see on the video, there's a hole there. You can see. That's it. Yeah, great. So we're just going to clean that out as well. And that's how you clean the valve. If your valve was currently on, and the magnetism was pulling it shut, it would be very warm, and you'll need to disengage the electrics so that you can release the valve. So we're going to disengage the electrics on this one just as an example, even though this one was actually not needed one. So if we go back to the box here, you can see this other smaller box on the side, and this is what's controlling the electronics. And on that, if I can twist it around to the right orientation, and on that is a little screw here. So if we unscrew this, well, that was very easy actually. It will release the electronics, and that would release the magnetism. I think that's enough. Yeah, so there we go. I can take that right off. The screw will stay inside. And now if it was magnetically shut, the inner piece would release. So be careful when you do that removal of the electronics, because the valve that's already in there, if it was stuck, it might now fall out. So just be aware of that. Okay, I imagined I've cleaned it all now, and now we're going to do the reverse. This probably isn't going to make for the most interesting viewing, but it's there as an option should you want it. We'll get on the on. Make sure you get everything properly seated. So first I'm rescrewing on the electronics. There you go. And now I'm going to put in all the pieces again. We've got our our spring in our valve, and that goes with the spring inside the black box. You can see if I push it down, you can see that movement there. That's what causes the valve to open and shut. Also need to put the O-ring back in, and that's easiest to put in the, let's try and keep everything out of the way. Easiest to put in the metal component at the back. Just put it in neatly. That's quite good. Yes, nice. Okay, and now I'm going to slide this in and start screwing in all the screws. First one's the most difficult, of course. This one's screwdriver. There it is. Once you've got that one in, it'll all stay up. It'll all stay fairly well shut. Oh, I didn't get it quite seated well there. There you go. Better. So hopefully, when we've done all 6 of them and we turn all our gas flows back on, we will hear no noise. If, however, you do hear some hisses, that probably means you haven't seated the valves back in the right place, and you'll probably have to take the ones that are hissing off and put them back on. Oh, nearly there. 3. And the last one. I mentioned earlier that if it was currently active, you would have to disengage electronics. Just remember, it will be very hot, so when you disassemble it, just let it cool down. Otherwise, it will be too hot and you'll burn yourself. Okay, so that's how you change a valve. Now we have to turn back on the vacuum. We'll turn back on the flows, and hopefully we'll hear no hissing. Let's see. Okay, so we've run around the other side, turned all our gas flows back on. We come back here, and I can't hear any hissing, so that suggests we got everything seated nicely. So now all we need to do is a regeneration to make sure we don't have any of that air that we just let in through the valves into the box, and we're good to go.